My friends, welcome, welcome, one and all, Saturday night to this thing of ours. I hope everybody's doing phenomenally wonderful. I have to tell you one today. I got a letter in the mail. I got this thing, and I want to share it with you. And it is, lo and behold, addressed from ERIKA KIRK. And I thought, you have got to be kidding me. Welcome, puppy paws. Have some crumb cake. I thought I'm going to kind of wean myself from this. I think we're maybe kind of sort of, maybe it's run its course. Some of the stuff that people are saying is kind of like, wow, that's old. But then again, I realize, no, it's like a wine that marinates and you keep finding new things, new aspects, new things to watch. You can't believe what you're seeing. It never gets old. You can watch something 50 times and then one day say, wait a minute, I'm seeing it differently, because you can't believe there has never been anyone like this ever. Nobody. Meghan Markle, Kim Kardashian, Paris Hilton, Fergie. I don't even know who, nobody who is so syrupingly full o' shite. I've never seen anything like this. So I get this letter, and it's incredible. It's on the printed, but I've got to read this. Keep in mind everything that she's done, everything that she's tried, everything that we've told you that she's done, instead of trying just to lay off the gas, pump the brakes a little bit. Just take it easy. Take it easy there, young lady. Take it easy. Just go back and maybe talk about good things and talk about stuff. Talk about, just regular. It is, again, today, Mrs. Eldon and I had a wonderful day. It was just a beautiful day. And we're talking, and I'm just walking around. I'm thinking, I can't believe my world is insane. Some days it really hits me. I mean, it really, really hits me more than others, hits me in ways that are very, very difficult. And I don't know what it is. There's a part of me that just doesn't understand things. Before we get to this, I look at stuff and I think my wife thinks I'm losing my mind. Maybe I am. And there's this person that we know who is an absolute nobody. When I mean nobody, I mean not a person without worth, but a person who just, it's not in the business, not in show business, just a person, has a job and lives in a world where if she goes to the beach, she has not a caftan but this like a muumuu or something running on the beach. You say, who in the do you think you are? Seriously, sit down. What is the matter with you? What is it? We're losing our minds. And before I got to get to this, I got to tell you one more thing. We have lost our minds regarding pizza. There is nothing to pizza. Nothing. Thin crust, thick crust. Neapolitan style, New York style, deep dish, Detroit. That's it. That's it. The number one pizza, $68 for a pie. We have lost our minds with pizza, with this self-indulgent. I'm serious. I swear to you, I think we're losing our mind. But there's nothing to it. Nothing. Some are better than others, but that doesn't mean anything. Okay. I'm telling you. We live in a world that is insane. And when it comes to this woman, to ERIKA, I don't know what planet she's from. So I got this thing right off the bat. From the desk of. She doesn't have a desk. I know it's an expression, but it's like, am I being petty? I don't care. From the desk of ERIKA KIRK. How did she get my address? Is this a joke? Dear friend, over the last 8+ months, the number 8 and the plus sign. First of all, who's writing this? I'm sorry. I'm gonna be a stickler for this stuff. I am sorry. I'm gonna be punctilious. I'm gonna be priggish. Sorry. You want to ask me for this? You want to ask me for money? I'm going to tell you right off the bat. They write like a child. Now remember, I'm going to read this to you. And I want you to understand who this person is and what she is about. You follow me? Who is this person and what is she about? This is the most important thing. It is a fascinating subject, okay? Let me read this to you. Over the past 8+ months, I have heard from so many of Charlie's supporters, their thoughts, prayers, and love for Charlie, and the impact he had on this country. Let me stop. Do you think that's true? Oh, she's heard about Charlie's supporters. Oh, I'll bet you. Oh, I'll bet you. She's heard from us. She heard from Candace, heard from everybody. Oh, she's heard from us. And the thing she's heard us say is, shut up. Shut up. Show some respect. You are desecrating his image. Stop it. Stop this. You're a phony. You're ersatz. You're fictional. You're fictive. You don't exist. Stop it. That's what you've heard. Stop it. You're killing this. This guy meant so much to people, young people in particular, and she doesn't get. Well, she didn't. She doesn't care about this. Somebody wrote this for her, obviously, but she must have theoretically okayed it, at least tacitly or deliberately or expressly. But so many people have come to her. So many people have come to her. Their thoughts, prayers, and love. I am beyond thankful for the outpouring of support. I'll bet you are. And you know what would make you even more thankful? That's right, kiddies. Since Charlie's murder, Turning Point USA has experienced unprecedented interest in our programs from everyday Americans who are fed up with political violence and who want to honor Charlie's vision for America. Let me read this again. Since Charlie's murder, Turning Point USA has experienced unprecedented interest in our programs. Okay. Over 120,000 young people have asked how to bring Turning Point USA to their schools. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Especially what's been going on lately with that the one Un-F America, whatever it was. I believe them 100%. That they called up these chapters. Some have quit or nobody's there, or what qualifies you to have a chapter. Maybe you have a gift card, maybe you have a present. Over 120,000 young people have asked how to bring Turning Point USA to their schools. We've launched more than 5,000 high schools and college student chapters. More than 10,000 pastors have partnered with us to bring pro-America programming to their churches. Charlie and TPUSA videos have been viewed by billions of times. Over 1 million teachers and parents requested our classroom curricula. Do you believe this? Do you? I don't. I don't. I don't. Since his demise, I don't for a moment. Sorry. I don't. Why are you writing this? Why don't you let other people go? But we're not done yet. With everyone's heartfelt support, we will continue. This is underlined, by the way. We will continue Charlie's vision and spread Turning Point USA's mission even further than he imagined. Why? For this. Not money. This. It's an old joke. The assassin who took Charlie's life and the evildoers who threatened him for years didn't just try to silence a man, they tried to silence the national movement Charlie built and his message of patriotism, faith, family, and God's merciful love. Do you believe that? Do you believe Tyler Robinson? Let's really get down to brass tacks. Do you believe Tyler Robinson had anything to do with anything? Do you? Do you believe Tyler Robinson had anything to do for anything? Anything? Do you think he had anything to do with this? It's a very simple question. It's a very, very simple question. Yes or no? And do you think that this is somehow that he wanted to quash, quell, remove Charlie's message of patriotism, faith, family, and God's merciful love? This is in bold now. If they thought Charlie's mission was powerful before, they have no idea what they just unleashed. Not just across this country, but in me and our team at Turning Point USA. The movement Charlie began is ready to do even more in this fight for the future of America. How? Let me be clear, colon. The movement my husband built will never be stopped. Because of the support of 1 million plus patriots who have given to Turning Point USA, we have been able to reach millions of students across the country with our message. And because of their support, this movement will grow stronger, bolder, louder, and greater than ever. Charlie gave everything for this country, and I refuse to let his name be just a footnote in history. We will not let the light he lit go out. Not now, not ever. And I invite you today to join me in supporting this mission, Charlie's life's work to save America. And she writes, she ends it, the valedictory, whatever, for Charlie, ERIKA KIRK, CEO and chair. And there is a signature that I don't even know. I know it was, like a DocuSign or something, but it's bizarre. P.S. Postscriptum. P.S. Charlie wanted to be remembered for his courage, for his faith. Charlie wanted to be remembered for his courage, for his faith. For his courage, for faith, for his faith. Please don't lose your faith in this moment. And remember that our God is so good. Don't you love that? God is good. Jesus is good. God is good. Sin is bad. Light is better than dark. God is good. Okay, fine. Now, here's the money part. Personal reply to ERIKA KIRK and Turning Point USA. Dear ERIKA, yes, you have my total heartfelt support. I am honored to stand by your side. I know, excuse me, you and the rest of Turning Point USA will not only protect Charlie's memory, you will drive his mission forward. The country needs his voice more than ever. To help, I am enclosing a special donation in honor of Charlie. Please accept my gift of either $35, $50, $100, $250, $500, $1,000, other. My check is enclosed, or MasterCard, Visa, American Express. We're unable to process credit card donations without the expiration date and security code. Please do this. I would like to provide ongoing support to Turning Point USA with a monthly donation, a lot of QR codes. And it says here, very simply this: our mission, identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. What has ERIKA KIRK even so much as hinted at, intimated regarding free markets? Think about this in the classic Mises, Milton Friedman, Hayek, von Hayek, Mont Pelerin society. Think about this. The Real One podcast says, I'm live with John on the microphone. Please check us out. When you're done, email me and I can share some information with you. Thank you. Good people. Good people. Thank you so much, my friends. We'll do that. Puppy Paws 888 says, it can't be from her. She can't even find her common sense, let alone her desk. You are a card. You are a card. Our mission to identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote the principles of freedom, free markets, and limited government. What did she ever say regarding free markets? What does that mean? Was this almost like an afterthought? Jamie Burlington says, Lionel, baby, Saturday Night Lionel. You better believe it. Thank you so much for that. Unbelievable. This just is one of those things where it makes you say, free markets, you must be kidding. Now, our vision in America, where every young person is enlightened to conservative free market values through nonpartisan debate, dialogue, and discussion. Let's go through this. Again, free market values. Have you ever, may I ask you something? And I'm not even trying, I don't know where this came from. Have you ever heard of even Charlie talk about free markets? I mean, maybe, but normally the message has been about, I think, very, very simple thing, basic meat and potatoes, good stuff, good stuff that deals with people who are themselves involved in, ideas and thoughts, regarding good versus evil and that sort of thing. And that's a very, very good thing. It's a very, very good thing. How about principles? This is very, very important. I like this piece. Our principles: limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets. Again, I'm not even sure I even hear that. I'm not even sure I even hear that. And that's okay. But believe me, when I think of Charlie Kirk, I don't think of free markets. Where did that even come from? To be honest, our beliefs. The United States of America is the greatest country in the history of the world. I'm going to ask a very stupid question. Do you believe that the United States of America is the greatest country in the history of the world? Ever. You mean now? Always? I really want, and I want you to tell me something. And remember, I'm not leaving. You're not leaving. Those of us who are here, we're not going to be dual citizens. We're not. The country or the government? The country. Please define that for me. What is the country versus the government? I like our country. I like our country. I was watching a YouTube video. There's this British group called the Hutchinsons. They're from the UK, and they go everywhere from Buc-ee's to pizza. They go to the Times Square, and they do such a great job. They love everything that's America. They love the food. They love the people. They love everything. And our country. Tomorrow, Mrs. L are going to be going around, believe it or not, around parts of the New Jersey area, which is so steeped in revolutionary history. You can't believe it. It's also markets and farms are kind of opening in the spring. There's a lot about our country in terms of the music and the culture, but are we the greatest country in the world? I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even know. What I'm afraid of is, I don't know anybody who'd be better, but I don't want to start using patriotism as a kind of a hackneyed phrase. Another belief: the United States Constitution is the most exceptional political document ever written. Now, that may very well be true. That may be true. That is, by virtue of the fact that it is like any other constitution in the world. That's true. How many times do you think it is? It is. I mean, it's followed most of the time. And finally, capitalism is the most moral and proven economic system ever discovered. Do you think capitalism is the most moral? Would you ever use morality to explain capitalism? Capitalism? Capitalism. This is who is writing this stuff? Capitalism versus what? Socialism versus planned economies versus Marxism. I mean, capitalism can be the most brutal, rapacious, absolutely horrid form because it is about profit. It is about screw you if you can't keep up. However, sometimes that very competition brings many good things. Do you think that the Palantirs and Peter Thiels and Bill Gates and their capitalism, do you think capitalism is the most moral? Proven economic, again, may very well be moral. Ave Distra says, Lionel, Erika recently said Charlie's love will last her a lifetime. So how long do you think it will be till Erika remarries? I would bet you anything she remarries very, very quickly. Now, to her, thank you, by the way, to her credit and her defense, if she marries again, it may not be because she doesn't love him. She doesn't love him. But there are people who are in the world who are professional. What am I trying to say? Who are professional. Well, what am I trying to say? They're professional, not widows, but they're professional wives. You've seen them. They've been around. Some of them are groomed. Be not mistaken. Erika Kirk is a marital capitalist. She is a predator. What I'm saying is she will see something she wants and she will move in and she will get it. I think she is not a very bright person, but she is a person who has absolutely, positively no soul. Meaning, this may sound harsh, she will be anything you want her to be. Anything, any role. She is liquid, she is air, she fills the container. Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? Do you hear what I'm saying? She fills the container. I will give you right now a profile of her like you cannot believe. And I would say this before. I remember something. Because someone dies, because someone's husband dies, it doesn't make them. Have you noticed this? Like, don't say that. He's dead. I said this when he was alive. What difference does it make? What difference does it make whether they're alive or dead? I said it then and I meant it then and I mean it now. What are you talking about? This woman, from the time I was watching her. Oh, look at this. Savage Sweetheart. I love these names. Savage Sweetheart says she's looking for someone to look after her kids while she continues her book tour. She will have nannies and she will have au pairs, or whatever they were. What she really needs to do, what would be the best for her, what I would say is, you've got two people who are, well, three. I don't know anything about her mother. I hope her mother, Laurie, who I think was ill with something. Erika even showed Laurie Franz in the hospital looking extremely ill, weak, frail, about to be, well, about to perhaps not be around much longer. And I'm sorry to say that, but this is exactly what you look like. You know, when you've got let's say your mother is a proud woman who always cared about her hair and her makeup and her looks and her weight and her this. You were to show her in a hospital with tubes, looking frail and old. Have you ever seen somebody who is so ill they age so quickly? That is the height, to take a woman's pride. And I think, I'm just guessing, a lot of this is what I'm saying is just my instincts, and I'm right. And you to do it because of your virtue signaling, against better judgment, says, I don't know if she will marry again. Wouldn't that technically take her widow status away? I doubt she'd like to lose that aspect of her identity. LOL. You know what? I don't think it would matter. Oh, by the way, thank you. By the way, thank you for your kindness. I appreciate that, especially at the end of the month, which really, really is important. This is when everybody. This is when our fiscal period comes to an end, and we try to tie up as much as possible, which is so terrific. Puppy Paws says, you don't have to be intelligent to be manipulative when it comes naturally to her. It's not a talent. It's an affliction. It's evil. I don't even know if it's evil. Let me go back a few things. First, because my head's spinning and I appreciate this. I would say for my kids, I want to make them a part of Charlie's parents, his sister, and I would want, provided the parents agree, I would let grandparents be as active as possible. Grandparents are the greatest parents that parents can ever be. Grandparents are better parents as grandparents than as when they were parents. Does that make any sense to you? Somebody said one time that life and children, this is terrible, are like making pancakes. The first one doesn't come out that great. I'm the exception, by the way. But as you start to get on to go, you kind of get the hang of it. I would do everything in my power to bring Charlie's parents into it. They would be the people to watch, including Lori's mother, who provided she is able to do it. I get the sneaky suspicion, I would bet anything that she has cut those people off, she has ostracized them, and she views them as the enemy because she knows that they know what she's all about. A con always knows when they've been detected. Absolutely. I listen, by the way. Let me talk about something. Evil. Evil. Let us define evil, ladies and gentlemen. Evil is something that wants to be, oh, look at this, donate to his parents, not TPUSA. You know, I'll bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if they got zip from any of this stuff. All right? She may not, she had what, about 10 mil, so they say, from the life insurance, from this and that. She is set. Did you ever see their house? Charlie's house? Dear God. And Charlie, by the way, wasn't he was not mired in penury. He wasn't this penurious individual. He was doing okay, but he was a different soul. This is my take, though. Evil is somebody who is a sadist. A sadist is somebody who wants to exact not only evil or terrible things, but wants to see you suffer. I get my kicks from watching you suffer. Sadism. There are some people, there were some killers out there who would go out and just kill. They weren't into torture and all that. Doesn't make them better. Others were into that. They wanted they were the evil. There's a guy, Michael Stone, I believe his name is. He is I think a Columbia University, either a psychiatrist. He has this 10-point scale to gauge who are the worst of the worst of the worst. evil. No, I'm not saying she's a serial killer. I don't think she's evil. I don't think her goal is to exact harm. I think she is indifferent to the feelings, to the concerns of other people. I don't think she cares anything about this. It's indifference. She'll walk over you, not because she's evil. She doesn't care. You are indifferent to her. She's not evil. She just doesn't care. She cares. The only thing she's cared about is to try to fulfill this role that she is. She wants to. Life to her is more than a cabaret. She wants to be some. There are other people who seriously, I think about this. Some people say, I want to be successful. I want my family to take care of whatever it is. That's great. Good for you. La-di-da. There are other people who say, no, I want to be famous as. I told you before, this person I know, running up and down the beaches of wherever it is, with her flowing, she wants to be sexy and envied and admired. I couldn't give a shit whether you thought that or not. Here I am. I'm having a salad. I don't care about this. You can think whatever you want. Does that make me more healthy emotionally? Yes. While I appreciate your admiration, I don't live for it. And if I don't get it, I'm not going to lose any sleep. I would like your respect or anybody else's, but I don't have to get it. I don't have to get it. I respect certain things. I got to tell you, today we were having lunch. Wonderful. We were in the Chelsea area. It was beautiful. We're at this very interesting little joint, this place. And we had this perfect. I thought, I don't know if I like this. Come back here. We got a table here. I was like, okay. I'm thinking, I don't know. Didn't you think the honey is like, I thought, they're going to put us in the middle. And it was great. It was like this kind of a bar. Anyway, so I'm sitting there and there was this family, mother, father, and this little girl. This little girl was so mannerly, quiet. How old was she, do you think? I can't tell ages. 10, 12?
10. No, she was about 6.
6? I can't tell. Okay. About 6. So anyway, when we left, I said, excuse me. And he probably looked at me like Mrs. L said, you scare people. And I think I might, because I come across sometimes a little forceful. But I said, I just want to congratulate you. Your child, I said, you young lady, show impeccable manners. And I'm so impressed. And you should be very proud. I meant it. I see things. I don't care whether you're I want the world to know I'm here, but if you don't like me, that's okay. It doesn't matter. But I'm not going to running up and down the beach in a thong or a Prince Albert. Look at me running around in my caftan and my jaleba and my jerba, prancing about looking like a damn fool, because it doesn't matter. These people must live to assume a role. I like this. Cecil says, you're kind, Lionel. I believe EK is evil. I think I don't think she's sadistically evil. I think she's negligent. I don't think she cares about anybody. I don't think she cares. A psychopath. I'm not saying she's a psychopath. She's not smart enough to be a psychopath. A psychopath is very higher order. She's almost emotionally deaf or blind. She sometimes says things. It's like sometimes there are people who are deaf and they say things that are too loud and they ruin parties, but they can't help it. They don't know how loud they are, or they just don't care, or they don't. Her thing is not to hurt. It's about her. She doesn't care enough about you to be evil. You could drop dead. She wouldn't piss on you if you're on fire. Doesn't matter. That's not her thing. She doesn't care about you. She's in an act This woman's talking about limited government. Have you ever looked up Mount Pelerin Society? I think at 47 or so they got together. These are the Murray Rothbards. These are the libertarians. These are the folks who represent pure Milton Friedman, libertarian, Ron Paul kind of stuff. Do you think she knows the first thing about this? In a straight face, I don't remember Charlie Kirk talking about this. Maybe he did. Every time I saw him, it was always, does a man know he's a man? And, being gay and, that kind of stuff, or Jesus or God, whatever it is. And that's fine. I think that's important. Let me tell you why it's important, because let me tell you something right now. When Trump leaves office, they are going to come after us. You're going to see gay and trans like you have never seen. Oh, dear God. They are just, especially as this freedom. Have you seen how this Freedom 250 is just collapsing? Milli Vanilli pulled out of it. Or is it Vanilli or is it Millie? But the loan, you know what it is for Milli? I don't even know how, who Milli Vanilli, it's almost like a joke. Milli Vanilli? Huh? It was supposed to be a country fair. Let me tell you something. We're going to need something a little bit stronger than what's her name? Oh, good. A friend Denise says, just watch a documentary on Norway. They committed to a doctrine from early 1900, not able to speak that they are better than any other. They committed to a doctrine from the early 1900s, not able to speak that they are better than any other. Interesting. So they're not able to say, and thank you, by the way, they're not able to say or acknowledge. Could very well be. Norway, Norwegian, Denmark. This is the Democratic Socialist, the Mamdani and others are. That's that phony baloney Bernie Sanders kind of light. Remember, when it comes to socialism, is it a planned economy? If it's not, we move on. I remember one time asking a friend of mine, who is Israeli? What do you describe your government as? He says, socialist. So remember, we really need to do this, to sit back and explain some things. And there were some aspects. What also scares me about Norway and these other people, they are taking to the notion of self-harm and elimination much too easily. We got a big problem. I want to say something right off the bat. Hats off to Tucker, who's doing one hell of a job in bringing the best part of the Bible and the best part of the notion of evil and evil spirits. He's really getting into this stuff. And he had an Eastern Rite. Who is our friend from Rockland? Father Joseph or Father Joe? We have a friend of ours who calls the radio show, by the way, tonight from 2 to 5. He is an Eastern Orthodox pastor, Father Joe, and they are very interesting folks. ERIKA Kirk does Meghan Markle better than Meghan Markle does Meghan Markle. Narcissistic, performative, victimhood, manipulative, look at me lies. Good. Never know which act you're going to see next. Absolutely. There is something about this. Remember something. It's very interesting. Sometimes there are many people who are, again, I'm going to use words. You like the word psychopath, who are psychopathic in effect, but they are not evil. They don't hurt anybody. Let me give you an example of something which is very interesting about the psychopath. This is the most important. Part, okay? There are two parts, your head and your heart. Your head thinks things out. I want to do this. I want that watch. I want this. I want fame. I want glory. I want money. I want to win. I want whatever it is. I want something. Children are like that very id, the Freudian troika about the id, the ego, the superego. Kids are very id oriented. I want this. They're like animals. I want this. An animal, a cat, will take something off your plate, think nothing of it. There's nothing to do, nothing personal. It's very, very primeval, primordial. They want something. That's it. If you've got it, they want it, they'll take it. That's it. As we develop, theoretically, and we're able to involve ourselves sometimes in a little bit of this super ego, a little bit about morality. There's the balancing this part. It's wonderful, the ego that says, how do I balance this? It's the two, the angel and the devil on your shoulder. But the head is the part that says, I want this. The head is a part that says, that cake sure looks good. I'd love to take a bite of that. But while so-and-so's in the John, if I took a bite, I could maybe blame somebody else. And you would say, no, I'm not going to do that. Why? Now think about that. It's a very simple, it's a very simple idea. It's very, very simple. Why wouldn't you just take part of the cake? Why? The answer is very simple. I'll explain. Puppy Paws says, she kept up the lying illusion of love and then profited off his death. It may be indifference, but it's still deliberate, and it's void of human decency and empathy. It's evil. I'm not going to argue with that. Dre, whatever, says Charlie's initial message was always free markets. Well, that's it. But let's face it, most of the time, and I appreciate, and by the way, thank you very much. Free markets are not necessarily the thing that we need to emphasize. I think it's almost presumed. But I mean, most people in this country, believe it or not, they are not socialists at all. Now they may remember, socialism is different than a welfare state. Al Sharpton is a welfare state. Al Sharpton believes, give me stuff. Give me this. Give me. Socialism is a planned economy. Socialism is also where the government purchases, owns everything, owns a means of production, factories, and it's a very extreme. Remember, communism is the ultimate. It's the dream. Communism is when there's no need for socialism, where everything is so perfect and so great and so glorious that you don't. I mean, it's bizarre. It is bizarre. If you want to kill industriousness, take away competition. Kill it. Kill it. It's funny. There's a thing here in New York City. And Mrs. Ellen and I will say, we have sometimes there'll be like a restaurant, a diner, a place in the neighborhood will close after years. It's almost like a death. But it is so brutal in this city. If you're going to be on that corner, you better work harder. And if you want to sell dirty water dogs, your hot dog better be better than everybody else's. Because if you don't, somebody right around the corner is ready to move in. There's this thing in New York called the Halal Guys. They're on 54th or 53rd and like 6th Avenue, up the street from MoMA, not too far from Fox. And they have these halal trucks, 24 hours a day, lines like you cannot believe of this stuff that people, it is sheer, absolute profit motivated capitalism in its finest. Hard work pays off, and there are people ready for them to slip. It's what keeps things going. Sometimes it's brutal. But if you want to see something, do you think sports is anything but, do you think sports is socialism? Sports is pure capitalism, competition. And not because you're going to get TV revenues, but a little league team says, we want to beat these people. We want to win. We want to win. That's a wonderful idea. Play by the rules. So I don't know if anybody really in this country seriously seriously wants to live in a world, they don't know what they're talking about if they're talking about socialism. Our good friend Raul Rodriguez says, "Evening, folks. What a wonderful man. Raul has been with us forever." But let me talk to you more about this heart. Let me tell you about our good friend. I gave you this idea, this analogy. There's a piece of cake, you want it, or whatever the hell it is. It's very simple. And they're in the John. If I took a big piece of it, I could blame somebody else. The answer is no. Why? You'll get caught. You'll ruin a friendship. You'll look like a damn fool. People will hate you. They will talk about you. You might get punched. You just look terrible. Cake? What are you, Marie Antoinette? You had your cake and you stole it too? Okay. You know what that was? Your head says, I want it. But it was your heart speaking. It was your heart, meaning your emotions. And this thing I wanted to tell you about, consequence. 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 If I do this, this. If I do this, this. When you, normally they're connected, head and heart. I want to do this. I need the money. Well, take the money. We can go in on the church on Sundays. They have a collection little plate in the back where you can steal them. And you go, I'm not going to steal from a church on Sunday? What are you kidding me? First of all, it's immoral. Number two, if I get caught though, Habe, that's your heart kicking in. That's consequence. Psychopaths don't have that. It's not because they're mean. They don't have that. I mean, they'll get around. They understand what being caught is. But they don't. It doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. They're very smart people, but nothing. By the way, psychopaths are the most brave people. If somebody says, I'm hit, I'll go, what do you mean? I don't know, Mike. Who knows? I pick up a medal. You go, you'll be killed. Nah, you leave. Everybody else is sweating. Psychopath doesn't even understand because he can't understand consequence. They're terrible chess players. I can't do that. Do you ever play chess and you keep your hand on the queen? Don't touch my queen. You're looking around. Can you take this? They don't care. Terrible gamblers. ERIKA's like that. ERIKA says, I want that. I want that. What? That role. First of all, I like that. I like that role in this. I'm going to be in this reality show with my boyfriends. Yeah, that's it. I want to be sexy. I want them to think I'm sexy and beautiful. Not smart. Sexy, hot, beautiful. And I want to be famous. I don't want them to want to be me. I want them to want to be me. Remember Peter Frampton, I want you to want me? This is kind of like that. This is what she wants. I want that about me. I want to feel special. ERIKA deserves this. Well, ERIKA it didn't pan out. She moved on. They said, now listen, ERIKA, remember everything you said, okay? You had a bunch of boyfriends. You were most probably, dare I say, intimate, most probably. Nothing wrong with that. But understand this. You were out there trying to be a little sex pot, and you were making these kind of little sideways glances, and you wanted people to think you were some hot number, some hot tamale. So remember later on, if you claim to be, let's say, some quasi-virginal Christian mother, don't forget what you've said now. She has no idea what you're talking about. Nah, don't worry about it. No. Later on, ERIKA, you just said you never dated. Yeah? You just said you never dated. And you said you never drank. You did. Do you remember watching your sizzle reel? What's the matter with you? What the hell's the matter with you? I don't care. That didn't work out. Then she was a pageant person. And she does this thing. Remember that kid? Was a kid? That guy's named Tommy Flanagan. It was John Lovitz. He goes, yeah, that's it. That's the ticket. Remember that? And it was Morgan Fairchild. Yeah, that's it. I went out with Morgan Fairchild. That's it. That's the ticket. Remember that? That's what she does. Yeah, that's it. I was walking down the street one day and somebody came up and said, hey, and her eyes start, she starts making this stuff up. And they said, we'd sure love for you to represent your state in the Miss Southwestern North Corridor, Miss Junior, Miss Prototypical, all these, you know what I mean? Miss Junior, Miss Universe, sort of lowercase u. And she came up with it, and they said, excuse me, ERIKA, there's no such thing as you're not recruited. These people work at this. They work at this. They put together the money for the pageants. They raise money. They've got the dresses. Think of John Benet Ramsey. ERIKA, this is bullshit. This story you came up with about how you were nobody, it's never happened before. I don't care. I like it. Her head, her heart, no connection. It's like a psychopath, but simpler. She just doesn't care. It's not that she's a liar. She just doesn't care about the truth. Doesn't care about it. This story is a lot better. I like this story. Then they say, ERIKA, you've run for I don't know how many times. What are you talking about? Whatever. I don't care. Then I love it. She says, I'm an entrepreneur. And when she looks up, that's the tell. Now she's into La La Land. She's into the make-believe world. Yes, and I was a caretaker of an orphanage in Romania. Yes, and I was a good person. I was like Oprah, and I was like, yeah. What happened to those people? Huh? What happened? Happened to who? The kids? Oh, I don't know. Whatever happened? Never hear from them. But she just goes off into this story. Well, that didn't pan out. Then she was a real estate agent for the Corcoran Group. Yeah, that's it. This is one of the biggest, if not, who is it? Douglas Elliman's another one here in New York. He's big names. Corcoran, big. And she was, did you sell any houses? Huh? Did you sell any houses? Sell any what? What are you talking about? You said you worked for this company. If you can't sell, you don't work for them. Oh, yeah. Whatever. I'm bored with that. I'll move on to a new one. Then she works for she has some kind of connection with the CIA because she's doing an industrial film on EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, and Carrington class disruptions, and with the, I think that was it Woolsey? In any event, where'd that go? I don't know. That wasn't her. And then something happened, and she was, I don't know who she was. She was fripping around with who from TPUSA. I don't know. Who knows? Colvette did this one and that one. They all. And let me also stop for a second. Charlie was a hell of a guy. He was as dumb as rocks when it came to women. He was as dumb. He said, and I was a virgin. I would say, don't ever say that. I'm sorry. You can be it. I will argue intelligently that you can say that, but don't do this. Yes, confabulation. This is a fabulous to somebody who basically makes up lies. It's like a portmanteau of like contracting and constructing fabulation. Right, confabulating. You're right about that. The confab. I will tell you that I don't know anybody. Forgive me. Forgive me. Maybe I'm, this is why I could never be a church leader. But I would never suggest to a young man today, don't go announcing that you were married a virgin. You were a virgin. Whatever that means. Whatever that means for a man. What does that mean? Okay, fine. I know what it means, but what does that mean? Charlie was saving yourself and all that. I'm thinking, listen, if you want to do that, you go ahead. It's a free country. Would I endorse that? Is there anybody here who's basically a virgin? Could be. Nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, that's the way it is. But then he would turn to ERIKA and says, you too, right? Huh? You too, right, honey? She would say, Jesus is good. It's like, what the hell are you talking about? Jesus is good. Hey, I'm talking about the were you or were you not, You didn't give it up, did you? But God is great. You're doing that again. You're making some truism. Charlie didn't know what hit him. I bet you she rocked his world, put him in a Wahito hold, showed him the Cleveland necktie, and next thing you know, he said he rocked her world. He probably, when they were married, I guess. And I believe him. He didn't know anything. This was a smart guy, but when it came to women, I don't think he ever met anything like that. Because he needed a big brother or a father or an uncle or somebody to say, Charlie, come here. This is trouble. You know who? You've never met this type before. She's got her hooks into you. I'm telling you, he's gonna destroy you. She's a man eater. What are you doing? This woman's older than you. She's been around the track. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she reads you a mile long. You may be a good egg and you may be moral as hell, but when it comes to women and piñata, if you can forget it, you don't know what you are up against something, my friend. You are really, and this is where it's dangerous, because while people who are raised, grown up or being raised or growing up, what am I trying to say? They're able to at least say, you got to have a little experience. You can say, oh, okay, I understand that. Because you don't want to go. Have you ever seen, by the way, have you ever had in your family a son, a brother, a cousin who lost his mind over some woman, maybe an older woman who played this guy, drove him crazy? Have you ever seen that before? It's the saddest thing in the world. You wouldn't have grabbed this guy and slapped the hell out of him and say, what's the matter with you? I've seen this. Oh my God. And they're just a basket case. And these people go in, they know just what to say. They know how to toy. They know how to use jealousy and insecurity. And they are just, oh my God. And I felt like he never had a chance with her. I really do. I'm not saying the guy's an idiot by any stretch of the imagination, but I don't think he had a chance. And when old Crazy Eyes was doing that look, he didn't know what was going on. And she just made stuff up. Did you hear this one? And when we were on our honeymoon, we said, let's have a disconnect honeymoon. Now, this is a guy. Okay, let me explain something to you. This is the guy who wants me to believe and you to believe. God bless you, Charlie. I love you, man, but your story was that you were this virgin. This was the first time you ever, ever. And you're at the gym, and we were at the gym. I was on the treadmill, and Charlie was working on weights. That's what we do. We went to the gym. What? Let me tell you something. I'll bet if this is Charlie, and this is the moment he's been waiting for all his life, this dame wouldn't be able to walk, much less go to the treadmill after you're done. What are you talking about? Ed Franks, by the way, says the old headboard coma. You better believe it. Horizontal mambo. Okay? Hide the soap. Shaking hands with Shorty. You know what it is. One of my favorite. Finding Nemo. That's one of my favorites. That kills me. Which is another one. Anyway. So while he's doing it, he goes, what are you talking about? Come here, you. She probably says, get back. Charlie, get back. Come on, I've been waiting on my lap. Come on, you. He probably had like a chair and a whip, and a pith helmet. Come on, you. They're playing Lion Tamer, and she wants, don't you think we should go to the gym? The hell with the gym. Come here, you vixen. I'll show you a thing. I'll give you a high hard one on a who shot John. Come on, you. But no, they were talking, and then we were going to sit down and discuss how we're parenting responsibilities on a honeymoon. What is the matter with you? Charlie, she said that she's doing all this stuff. And then, okay, this, let me tell you something. This guy, who, let's face it, after all his life waiting, he should have been like a three-peckered goat. This guy would have stuffed a snake if you hold a head. He was crazy, right? This was his one. But he says, no, I brought in my phone. Charlie brought his bat phone, and he was listening to lectures from Hillsdale College. As if, what are you talking about? Erika, do you hear what you're saying? That's not my boy. That's not Charlie. Let me tell you something. All of a sudden, you remember that, you heard that story about that. You heard that story about the federal judge who was making all kinds of noise in the chambers for over, what, a year? I mean, what's going on here? I'm surprised with Charlie. They weren't outside saying, come out with your hands up. Let the girl go. But no, Charlie's he's doing lectures from Hillsdale College. Charlie, tell me a story about Ben Franklin. Can you believe this shit? She just made stuff up. It was stupid, too. It's not even good. I mean, she could have come up and said, well, it's pretty tough because, Charlie insisted on a safe word. But I had lost so much oxygen that I couldn't remember the safe word. Was it cinnamon or flim flam? And I'm yelling something out. And I'm thinking, that's not it. And it's like remembering a password. And, well, anyway, he comes out with a pair of pince-nez and a night jacket. He had cream cheese and Bing cherries, smeared them all over me. He was going to knock him out with a slingshot at 10 feet. Then he made a paste out of brine shrimp, lathered his nether region, and squatted over a goldfish bowl as he was singing the chorus from Hallelujah Hollywood. It was weird. No, not that. Charlie was taking his classes. It's bullshit. Can you reread the letter while doing Erika, Crazy Eyes, and Up Talking? I could, but I get headaches. And the worst would be to read this as Kash Patel. Where's Kash Patel? That's another one. This guy hasn't gotten laid since the Johnson administration. Andrew Johnson. This guy he's the most pathetic of them all. Seriously, I'm surprised Trump has anything to do with him because Trump's got this, he got Hexit and this one over here. I'll bet you Pete Booty Giggity gets more lucky than this guy. He is, don't you feel sorry when Kash Patel comes out and he just, oh my God. It's the strange, and just the other day, and I said this, and I'll say it again. Look, and somebody asked a question. If she does want to date somebody, that's up to her. I got no problem with that. You really shouldn't either. That's personal. It's none of our business. If it doesn't affect TPUSA, if it doesn't affect her, she do whatever she wants. One time we had a relative in the family who got married like right after the wife died, and he got married like right away. And we said, what the hell is this all about? And my grandmother told me, sometimes the faster a man remarries, it's a testament to how great the marriage was. To which my mother responded, bullshit. I'll never forget that. She goes, no, this guy needed somebody to take care of him and wash and cook. It had nothing to do with that. The guy's 80 years old. He doesn't care about that stuff. He needs, because in the old days, there were men, maybe you knew them, like your grandparents, grandfather. Guy couldn't do anything. Couldn't make a sandwich, couldn't make a bed, couldn't do anything. I mean, they could work, but they just couldn't do anything. Couldn't run a washer or couldn't do anything. I think most men today for the most part, sometimes are better cooks. It's a different world. It's a different world. But this was so sad. And the sad, oh. Let me answer the question. Think of the moment, and I hope you saw this. Did you see my video on the? I hope you did. On the her lying across the casket as she's mic'd. Did you see this? She's mic'd, and you can hear her, "I love you, Charlie." I mean, it's like she's anyway. Then came that famous "Hey guys," remember that one? And then later on, as this thing happens, I had to think about the tear stick. You can buy this tear stick. Actors use it. It's wax or paraffin. You put it under your eyes, and then when the heat melts it, this menthol or camphor is released, and you cry like a son of a bitch. I mean, you will really. But the one that was, and it was probably, I don't know who was sicker, the people who thought of it, or the people who actually availed themselves of it, when they did a recreation of Charlie's death scene, when he was under that tent, and you could take selfies. That was so low, so crass. It's like getting a picture in front of like a Kennedy's car, like that Lincoln, the convertible. It's sick. And then she writes this business. When I saw this, I thought, you've got to be kidding me. Because I want to hear more. Now, there's this woman named Z. What the hell is her name? Z something. Rivera Cohen or something. It says, I love people. We don't people don't hyphenate anymore, do they, honey? Have you noticed that? There's fewer hyphens. There's few. You don't see that? Remember that, like Mandelbaum Lipschitz, or there were always things that don't really fit. But her name is, and I wanted to tell you that and we probably disagree, which is fine, on a lot of things. But her name is Z Cohen. Oh, Z Cohen Sanchez. Z-E-E Cohen Sanchez. She's from that Un-F America. Again, but boy, they did this incredible piece where they picked up the phone and they just called chapters. And they said, do you have a TPUSA chapter there? Do you have one there? Do you have one that's available? Do you have one? How many people do you have there? And then some people said, we don't have anything. They were giving out cards and then I get this. I never got one of these things once when Charlie was alive. Isn't that weird? It was so self-sustaining. He was so good. And those kids really knew they need this. They really need it. And what's so funny, what he did was one of the genius aspects about Charlie, what he did. Somebody would come up and say, hi, my name is Jer. My pronouns are, okay, fine. And I'm an onion ring. Okay, great. And Charlie would act like it's no big deal. And he would talk to you and say, okay. I don't think you're an onion ring. I think you were born a man or a woman. And I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. And it was really good. And people say, wow. He didn't yell at him. He didn't mock him. He said, hey. He would tell people to calm down. It's okay. I would have a hard time with not laughing. You're a what? You're a, huh? And then what's happening? I'm going to tell you what's going on right now, by the way. In a lot of countries in Europe, Eastern Europe, Russia, Hungary, and Italy and Maloney, there's a lot of people who are saying progressivism is horseshit. And we don't recognize this. And we think it's dangerous. And we don't cotton to this kind of thinking. And we think it's very dangerous. And there's a new idea. There's this new, and it was pronounced or advanced in Russia and in other countries as well. And they're coming up with the idea that maybe we've had it wrong. Maybe being LGBTQ or transgender, maybe it's a form of mental illness. Now, I'm not qualified to judge or to say what is a mental illness. I'm not. But I do know what normal is. And that's not normal. Now, normal statistically means the norm, the most average, the Gaussian curve, the just normal. Normal is kind of like average. If I'm at a stoplight, not moving, and a car goes by at 100 miles an hour, our average speed is 50, even though I'm not moving. So sometimes norm and average can be a little misleading. Maybe it's median. Maybe we're looking at range and that sort of thing. So we're going through something which is really interesting, and Charlie tapped into that. And ERIKA is not strong enough to do that. ERIKA is not. I would love. See, they go out there and they mock people. When that little twit, that sniveling little, I don't know what he was, that gnome or this Ben Shapiro, he would mock people. He would mock people. And he wanted to show how smart he was. And he loved to go out and they loved it. And that weird, equally creepy and strange Jordan Peterson. I don't know what his problem is. I don't know. I don't even know if he's alive. If he's some new health thing. I don't know what the hell his problem is. But Charlie never did this. And you need to come out and tell people, now listen, you're dressed here as a kumquat, or you think you're a wombat or whatever it is. You do know that's not, you do know you're not a woman. You're born with penis, testicles, you have 3-piece set, you are not a woman. You know that, right? You might feel moments of being feminine. You might feel, you might be gay. You might be asexual, perisexual, metasexual, metrosexual, but you are not a woman. You know that, right? Not what you think. Sometimes you can do this. You can say, I'm black. No, your parents are white. Your grandparents are white. You're not black. Now, you may sound black. You may have an affinity, a propensity, a predisposition, a predilection to act in an urban parlance, the patois, but you are not black. You do know that. Now, there are other people who say, well, is Barack Obama black or white? I still don't know. Is a zebra a white horse with black stripes or a black horse with a white stripes? I don't know. Then maybe we can get into it. But then again, you can say, I was raised in a particular way. But when it comes to things like gender, and Charlie was very, very straight about this, no pun intended. He said it's wrong. Now, do you think that ERIKA can possibly do this? ERIKA will go off into some story that she'll make up on the spot. She'll get caught, and she'll make some bullshit about Charlie and I one time were reading the Bible. I think it was Ephesians, and I said, Charlie, because that's what I called him. I said, Charlie, because if I called him Rodney, that would make no sense. I said, do you think that the Lord, and then she'll make something up, and people will sit back and say, what is she talking about? What the hell is this dame talking about? I don't know. I don't know what she's talking about. That's where she would go. She would just make something up. There are certain things that are just these, and I think young people in particular like to hear, and Charlie was a guy to do it. That's why you as a parent have to tell your kids, look, this is the way it is. I'm not your buddy. I'm not your pal. I'm your parent. And that's the way it is. This is the way it is. This is reality. Doesn't make you a bad person. I'm not saying you should, but you are not a woman. Period. By any stretch of the imagination. It is a category like pregnant or dead or alive. There's no level of transition. And if you're some man and you're menstruating, don't you love that, ladies? They've got dudes who are pretending to menstruate. I don't know how you do this. I don't know. I've heard of blood capsules. I know you can do a gaff. Like if you're a wrestler, I don't know what you're going to do. You've got men who are trying to lactate. This is the most bizarre thing. This is just men. And what this is this is performative nonsense. Puppy Paws says, I wish she'd identify as transparent pronouns, who, where. I like this. Or my favorite pronouns would be thou. Thank you. Thank you for that, by the way. That's what Charlie was great at. We need this desperately. We need this. But there is a whole thing, my friends, going on in the world. There's a big deal going on. And there's a case I want you to watch, and I want you to watch this case. This race is called Spencer Pratt. And he may win. He may win the mayoralty in LA. And he may not be a Democrat or a Republican, which I have been advocating for the longest time. He may just be a person kind of like Candace's or Tucker. He may just be somebody who believes in just this, and this. That simple. And he may be an individual who is not in any way committed to propounding this ridiculous theory of I don't even know what the hell it is. This is a chance, my friend. This is why we need the TPUSAs. We need this. We need to go out and we need to tell young men and young women. And what you do is you don't have somebody like me say it. You get somebody who's near their age. Maybe somebody that they admire. If you had somebody from the music world tell kids promiscuous sex is bullshit, it's emotionally damaging, and a lot of people don't do it. There's a lot of people in Hollywood music who don't do this. A lot of people who don't drink and don't do drugs. Really? Really. Sometimes it's even more cool not to do it. If you told them something like that, that may work. Do you think ERIKA, who we don't even know what she is when she finally settles down. He was a very important young man, and it kills me that they killed him. Nobody cares. But we care, and we're not going to let anybody do this. And there's a whole bunch of us out there who know a little bit about this. And we're going to be right there. And whenever something comes up that doesn't make any sense, we'll be able to say, they can't do that. What? They can't do that. Did you see what they just tried to do? What is it? We'll tell you. We'll tell you specifically what it is they tried to do and how they tried to pull the wool over your eyes. Because he's the scapegoat. He's the patsy. And you know what happens? And there's no way she could possibly steward the helm of this, because she's the one who said, by the way, I forgive him. And then as a private citizen, she files this weird kind of this strange version of a speedy trial motion in Utah, where the victim has an advisory capacity. It's very strange. Puppy Paws says, a tyrant will always find a pretext for their tyranny. Yes. But see, even a tyrant, even a bad guy, it's not even that simple. I'm scared. I'm very scared, my friends. Very scared about what's coming up in the midterms. Very, very scared. And you and I can talk about this all day long because Charlie was absolutely, positively, 100%, if not hugely responsible for endorsing President Trump, as did people like Tucker, as did a lot of people. And they'll never pay them the proper tribute that they should for being able to tell their hordes of acolytes and followers what to do. It's a very, very serious thing. So let me just tell you something. Never forget him. Never let him die in vain. We're going to get to the bottom of this. And get ready. They're going to call you all kinds of names. They're going to call you names. They're going to call you a conspiracy theorist. They're going to call you crazy. I'm telling you. You know what I say? It's nothing. You really haven't, until you've been up against this, it's a badge of courage to be called crazy. This is for somebody who doesn't even know what the hell to do. They just don't even know what to, they just call you crazy and that's about it. No. This isn't about being crazy. The last thing in the world you are is crazy. So don't lose the fight, my friend. Don't lose. Don't remember. And as far as ERIKA goes, she's a clown. She is so sad. And one of these days, I don't know when, but either it will be done at her behest or it'll be done for her. But they will say, that's enough. It's time for you to go. Be with your children, because there is no TPUSA. We ran it into the ground. And we should have immediately been, from the moment that Charlie, we should have had public tributes, not with fanfare and galas and sparkles and pyrotechnics. We should have allowed people. We should have had marches. We should have allowed children to speak. Young people. I shouldn't say children. And we should have immediately continued, uninterrupted, and told ERIKA, if you say one thing about yourself, don't worry about it. Because the whole message of Christ, Christianity, is being able to absorb the vilification of others, not to complain about it. Jesus didn't. The Sermon on the Mount was, can you believe this shit? You hear what they're gonna do? You hear what they say about me? You hear what they say about me? You think it's easy being me? Not at all. But that's her message. Look how, stop it. Stop it. Stop it, Candace. Stop it. Candace is in St. Petersburg. Tell you how screwed up I am. I'm from Florida. I'm thinking, St. Pete, Clearwater, Pinellas? Maybe she's going to go to the beaches? I don't even know. But she's going to go to Russia. I see the art. I see history. And to see things that you just can't see. And good for her. And they will do everything in their power. And they're getting so desperate. They're getting so desperate to hurt her, to destroy her, to shelve her, to sideline her. But it's not going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, give yourself a round of applause. God bless you. Look at this. Member for a month. UFO says, perfect victim for solicitation. Indeed. Hear, hear. Ladies and germs, tonight from 2 to 5 in the morning, I will be on WABC. This is the flamethrower. This is terrestrial radio. This is as big as it gets. Big, huge. And this was I was an alumnus. I'm an alumnus of it. And I was there when people like Rush Limbaugh were there, and every single day saw him, and Bob Grant, and could not believe what that was. And I will be talking to the folks. I would invite you to join us, especially, by the way, if you do call, please let the screener know that you're a member of Lionel Nation. There was somebody who called up and I did not know. I thought it was a woman and it was a man. The name was not like Pat, but it was so interesting. It was so strange because I'd like to talk somehow to hear you. And one day, I'd love for all of us to meet in some hangar, some city, some place equidistant, where we show up and we meet each other and we regale each other with stories of praise, encomia, panegyrics, and the like, in tribute to our mutual respect. Ah, yes. Yes, indeed, my friends. Please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. I thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness tonight. Thank you for your super chats. It means the world to us. That is so kind for you to take hard-earned money and direct it towards. You have no idea. That is so touching. Thank you. I mean that. Please subscribe to the channel. Please like this video. It's very hard, this presentation. Like it. And whatever you do, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. I thank you, my friends. And I'll be with you tomorrow. Same bad time, maybe in the evening. We will see. But let me thank you for this. You have been superb. And I love you. Ti voglio bene assai. Assai. All right, my friends? Thank you. Have a great and a glorious night. Be so happy that, listen, as far as, if this ain't the greatest country in the world, I don't really know what is. That's all I know. Maybe I'm just a hick. Maybe I'm just a goat roper from Florida. But I like this place. And I don't want to see people screw it up. And if I have anything to say of it, they won't. All right, my friends, we love you. Have a great and glorious night. Until next time, remember these final words, this sayonara, this valedictory. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over, sue ya. Da-da.